Hi, this is Bobby, and welcome to Off the Cuffs. Today I'm excited. I have with me Sgt Dwayne Little. So I just want to welcome you to Off the Cuffs. Glad you're here. Don't get too comfortable in the chairs over there, man, but I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah. So tell us about Sgt. Little. You know, we always ask our guests, who are you? Of course, I know you, but the people watching and the people listening may not even know who you are. How long have you been here with the Sheriff's Office?
It'll be 7 years in September.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do here? I mean, tell us about you. We want to know about you.
Okay. Born and raised right here in Winston-Salem.
Okay.
Grew up all around the city.
Okay.
5 different elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and landed at Carver High School. Graduated in 1999 from there.
Wow.
Went on to Hampton University, where I was a scholarship athlete there. HU, the real HU.
The real, okay. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Graduated from Hampton and came back home.
That's all right. That's good stuff. So tell me, what do you do here at the Sheriff's Office? I know what you do. What do you do here?
Well, I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator.
So, you know, what is that? So a lot of people say, what is a community outreach? What do you mean? Tell us about the community outreach program.
The community outreach does a lot of things. We connect people to resources. We bring hope. We bring happiness. We bring togetherness. In times of unrest, we're out there working behind the scenes, trying to make sure people have what they need. Sometimes we feed people. Sometimes we clothe. We do our job to ensure that the other facets of the Sheriff's Office can move just as smoothly.
I like that. So how do you feel about working out in the community? Do you feel that it's something that we should be doing? I mean, you know, we get a lot of flack about what we do in the community, about parades. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. Everybody has an opinion. I guess they're like hearts, good hearts, bad hearts, some that's outdated, whatever.
Yes, sir.
But we have a lot of opinions on what we should be doing in our community outreach. Do you feel that we're doing just that? We're reaching the community?
Yes, sir. And I was listening to a wise man speak one time. With the current climate we're in, every system is failing our youth. And with that, there's one system that cannot fail, and that is law enforcement. They have put the work on us to be that in times of need for these communities. So community outreach is a byproduct of a failing system. We have to do this because it is our job. So I said it's our job. It's not my job. It's my calling. When you came into office, I think I presented it to the captains before I came to you with the different motives of community outreach, changing it from crime prevention to community outreach, because this is home for me. This is where I grew up. This is where my kids are growing up. This is where my family is at right now. So this isn't a job. It's a calling, and this is what has to be done.
So you know what? I'm going to switch gears on you.
Okay.
So, you know, the current climate that we're in, people are going to be watching this, and people are going to probably be asking the question, what's it like to be an African-American wearing a uniform with stripes and a badge on there? What is it like? Do you feel pressure? Do you feel, I mean, what is the sentiment? How do you feel about that now?
It's pride and pressure at the same time.
Pride and pressure. I like that.
I have definitely sworn an oath to protect my community and my country. But I also have in the back of my head that when I take this uniform off, when I drive my truck, that I am susceptible to a quote-unquote bad incident. And that's what it is. So it is my duty to make sure in my current role that I educate, that I don't have these conversations with just African Americans. I have these conversations with everyone to increase the humanity, to increase the intelligent level of interactions. We all have inherent biases. We all fall short of the glory. But the blessing is that we have an opportunity for those that do have an opportunity to learn.
I like that. So the value of being in the community, you would say, is that we have a chance to show the community who law enforcement is in this community. Yes. We have a chance to interact. We have a chance to get out there and do some things, because I think that, as you and I always talk about, you know, we have to be present in an environment in which we want to change, an environment which we want to be a part of.
Yes, sir.
And like you, me and you both are sons of Winston-Salem, born and raised here. And so that's a pride thing. I like how you put that about it being a calling. I like the fact that you said that it's a calling and you enjoy doing that. So let me ask you a question. When you say the pressure, What is the pressure of being black in a uniform now?
It's almost to the point of, well, whose side you on? Are you black? Are you a cop? Is it Black Lives Matter? If it's Blue Lives Matter? You get those questions. You may not get them directly, or you may not get it overtly, but you get those questions, even with the simple Facebook post that's aimed towards you, and you know it is.
Right.
I deal with the pressure this way. I'm an honorable man, first and foremost. I'm a man of God. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I just happen to be a black man. I happen to be a cop. I can't change the fact that I'm a black man.
You're never going to be able to change that.
I can change everything else.
Right.
So I know where I line up in that. I know that the fight for equality, and I take it a step further. I don't really believe that equality is enough. We need equity. I know that fight is fought on every front, and I just so happen to be in the position to help that fight along. And the thing about it is when I'm dealing with my counterparts of other races, they know where I stand. They know the man I am. They know that everything isn't black or white. There's sometimes some gray. And they know that I am going to put enough thought process in it and to look deeper than the headline before I make a decision.
I ask you that not to put you on the spot, but I think that anytime a man goes out into the community and is on a journey, he must understand where he's coming from.
Yes, sir.
He must understand where he's going, because if you don't know where you originated from, 9 times out of 10, you're never going to find where you're going, because you don't have any markers, you don't have any burn, you don't have any reference or points of reference. And so I asked you that, and then you talked about Black Lives Matter you see in the community. So when you get out there, people are saying, Black Lives Matter. How do you equate that? What does that mean to you?
So there's several different analogies to the Black Lives Matter that I've seen. The one that I agree with the most is, yes, all lives do matter. But at this point, we need to focus on bringing up the black lives, because all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. There has been a systematic system of disparagement on the black population. It's public knowledge. We can't deny that anymore. So these lives need help. We have to bring them up. It has to be some equity. We're not saying that all the other lives don't matter. No, by no means. What we're saying is, hey, let's help our brother right now. Let's help our sister. Let's help our American citizens get to the American dream.
I like that. So many people ask me that question all the time, and I just thought I'd put you on the spot to give you your response. People ask me that. Matter of fact, they asked me that an hour ago. I'm constantly being asked, what does that mean to you? And, I subscribe to the analogy of, if this is a house and that is a house, and let's say we remove color from it, and let's say the fire department has to come to this house tonight because this house is on fire. The attention that the fire department brings is to this house.
Yes, sir.
It does not mean that house right there has no value. It means that this house right here is burning.
Yes, sir.
Burning. This house is what needs attention. And if we put color to that, we could say that these are black lives, and that could be white lives, that could be Latino lives, that could be Asian lives, that could be Chaldean lives, there could be so many lives.
Yes, sir.
But right now, the house that's burning, the house is on fire, the house that needs attention is this house. And so people will bring you into so many things, but the important part about what you do is what we do is that we serve the community, which is encompassing of all of those lives. And so I applaud you for being out in the community in the way that you do. I applaud you for being a difference maker, because you and I have talked on many occasions, and we talk about this constantly. A lot of people call in and say, well, you should be focusing on law enforcement issues. You should be focusing on this. You shouldn't be doing parades. You shouldn't be doing all these things that people accuse us of what we shouldn't be doing.
Yes, sir.
But you and I have had these conversations, and we talk about it constantly, is that we have to focus on some social issues, because social issues have the potential to become criminal justice issues tomorrow. And so I think that by being a part of the community and making a change and doing the things that we do, we ward off some of those things that may be criminal issues tomorrow. And for that, I want you to know that I appreciate what you do, because I know that I know that it's very difficult being in law enforcement. I understand that perfectly clear. And I know it's even twice as different, as you said, the pressure that you get now from being black in law enforcement. You know, I've talked to a lot of different officers across the country, and you know, I was talking to a gentleman, a friend of mine, who was they were sending people up to D.C. for this last thing they had, and I was saying, what is it like to stand in that line and looking into the eyes of people on the other side that look like you? What do you think? What's going through your mind, right? Conversation for another day. But I want you to know that I appreciate what you do in this community. So what are some of the programs we have going on? I didn't mean to digress or take that right-hand turn. No. I got to be respectful of your time. But I just had to ask you that because it was on my mind. I felt the need to ask you. But tell me what else we got going on in community service.
Community outreach, sir. We have we're gearing up to do something that you really put the pressure on us to do.
Sir, can you be careful how you use that word pressure? I haven't put any pressure on you, but go ahead. You got jokes now. Okay.
Is it a joke?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. We're gearing up to do community members to go through our firearm simulator training machine. That in that machine there's drills and situations where the
can
person.
You say can you rephrase that? So I'm not trying to tell you how to couch that, but can you say that we're gearing up to do this to involve the community and let the community see how our guys train, women train.
Yes, sir.
They'll see them on the FAT system, firearm trimulator simulator, firearms training simulator. But can you not say pressure, man? That's a strong word, saying somebody pressuring you to do something, man. Pressuring you to do that?
Gave me 30 days.
I didn't give you 30 days. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So what we're gearing up to do.
30 days don't mean I'm pressuring you, but go ahead. Because there's going to be somebody out there that say the sheriff pressuring people. See, I have to be careful how we say that. I'm learning.
It's positive pressure, though, sir.
Okay, good.
You don't talk down to me. You don't talk negative to me.
Positive pressure.
It's positive pressure.
I like that. Thank you.
I'm okay with that. Like constructive criticism.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. How is that coming?
It's coming along. We have the program written up. Next step is reaching out to the members of the community who can subject themselves to the training and being open-minded for it. Because this training is some real life situations. It's not just there's a dog attacking, or it's not cut and dry.
Right.
It mimics our situations that our deputies and officers may have to go to.
I think that's good. I think the community should be a part of it. When we talked about it, we want the community to be involved in what we do. We want them to see and understand what and how our officers train. What else do we have going on in our community outreach?
Another thing that we're working on is the church online security training. That sounds a little convoluted. Let me break it down. Before the pandemic, we were going to churches doing active shooter training with Corporal Butch Moore, who came on. He's been a godsend. I thank you for bringing him in. But we were training churches for active.
He's phenomenal. He's 25, 30 years in the Marshal Service.
Yes. And his court security training, everything is just off the map.
Don't get no better than that.
It doesn't. So with him, he brought in. Now Butch is not going to tell you this, but while we were. Everything was canceled. Bush actually took a class, I believe the University of Oklahoma, to further his knowledge on online training.
I would expect that from Bush.
Yeah. And so with that online training, we'll start reaching out to the churches, every church. Like you said, when you first came in office, we don't just do the donut, we do everybody in the county. So that includes Winston-Salem as well and Kernersville. So we'll do an active shooter training online. Now, it's not as hands-on with some of the regulations happening or lifting. We may be able to go on site, but we still have to be careful because our church population is oftentimes our most vulnerable population.
True.
So why we say we must get into these churches, because some of them are going to open, and now they're doubly vulnerable.
Some of them are open now. I was in one Sunday.
Exactly. Some of them are open now, but we have to get this information to them, and it's been a lot of.
Not trying to plug them, but I was out at Agape Church. Right, I had a great time out there. It's good stuff. Yeah.
So that's one thing. We're continuing the birthday parades with Paw Patrol and the drive-bys.
What else you got going on? I heard y'all working on something else.
So we got a lot going on. You had to tell me.
Oh, you don't know what you're working on down there?
That's not what I said. I'm working on a lot.
I got to refresh your memory.
Yes.
I got one on you. So we're working on safe homes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. We're doing sheriff safety tips. And with the
Sheriff's Office safety tips.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sheriff's Office safety tips. But we just left it as sheriff at first. You said
It's the office, but go ahead.
okay. Sheriff's Office safety tips. It will be monthly videos with actual scenarios of safety tips. The one that we want to do first is pulling into your garage. Pull into your garage, it don't matter what time of the day, having self-awareness, having surrounding awareness, knowing your escape routes or knowing how your garage looked when you left, just picking up on the little things. And this will be about 2 to 5 minutes. It will not take, it's not an episode of Gunsmoke. It's 2 to 5 minutes.
That's shade, man.
Was it? We call that Hampton shade. It's okay.
So you just offended a population that's 50 plus, man, like me, that watch Gunsmoke with Matt Dillon, right?
I know.
Miss Kitty.
I've been in your office, sir, and you've made me be quiet while it's on. It's like
I didn't make you go ahead.
You told me to be quiet and don't go nowhere.
I said, watch the program, man. Learn something. Gunsmoke. You can learn a lot from Gunsmoke.
I believe you. Now I watch Gunsmoke.
See there? So you got to realize, there's a difference in our age, right?
Yeah, we have this.
I actually could be your father. I'm always be your father.
Yes, I agree.
Right. So you have this thing where you don't respect like Gunsmoke. You don't respect Rifleman.
I think it goes both ways because you don't like my stuff either.
I'm not don't like it. I just don't understand it. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, could it not be that I don't understand Gunsmoke, sir? Okay.
Well, then just don't bother me during that time frame to Gunsmoke.
I only come to your office when you call me.
Okay. Episode. I caught that shade. We doing safety tips, but it's not an episode of Gunsmoke. Okay. So you guys, I come down and I cut up all the time. We joke a lot. That's just, how we move around here some days. But I want you to know you guys doing a phenomenal job, man. The feedback that you're doing from the community. We get calls all the times about wanting people to come, wanting you guys to come do the parades, the birthdays. I think it's phenomenal.
Sir, can I interrupt you?
Of course you can.
We had a conversation. I think you were in office about 2 weeks, and we were talking about community service. Not community outreach service, just people in the world doing community service. And the dedication and time it takes for someone to be a part of our community. You need at least 500 hours a year to make your community better. These are your words. I don't know if you remember telling me this.
I do.
And you said, and for the nerve of somebody who wants to run for office, not to have 1,000 or more actually out there working with the people doing community service is unfathomable. So your service-minded leadership it helps this even more. This community outreach is. So I may have been the one to get it started here as far as going to the different places and researching and bringing it to you, but it couldn't have happened without your community service-minded leadership. So I just want to make sure I told you that.
Well, no, I appreciate that. You have to understand the community in which you're going in to serve. You have to. One of the things that they do in the government before you go into countries, before they assign you to the country, you have to go through the language school, DLS, Diplomatic Language Service, and you have to go through the customs of that country. So some of the countries that I worked in, you could go into that country, and if you don't know the customs, you could actually get hurt. If you don't know the customs, you could actually cause problems. You have to understand the dynamics that are work in that community.
Yes, sir.
And so to me, it is very important for us, for anybody, period, to understand the community which they serve, whether it's Clemens, Louisville, Winston, Walkertown. You must understand the dynamics that are working in place. And that's what you and I were talking about, is say, I want us to be a part of the community in which we serve. I don't want us to go in the community always coming in to enforce the law.
Yeah.
Let's go in there and to show our compassion, show our love, and show how we feel about being able to serve. To me, service is a privilege, to be able to serve the community, to be able to pin the badge on and all the things that it takes to do this job. It's a privilege and it's an honor. And I appreciate what you, Butch, and the rest of the guys down there do. I just have one request of you. You got that grin on your face. I almost said something, but what I want you to do for them is this, right? So I'm going to give you the last word before we close out. Anything you want to say, anything you think that is worthwhile that the people should know, anything you want to say.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Give
But
me
I'm
the last
always
word.
ready. But I'm always ready.
I appreciate that.
Team reflects leadership.
I like that.
And our team reflects its leadership, whether it's my leadership in community outreach, Lieutenant's Hall leadership in community policing, Captain Shutt's leadership in the whole field services. But it all comes up to you and your leadership here at the Sheriff's Office. And, I get a lot of flack for I can mimic you very well. I can do your voice and all your mannerisms. I practice it. And that way I get stuff done, when I'm asking, I'm good at it. So I mimic you on different levels, though. Your heart for the city.
I appreciate that.
And that's what it's about. It's natural. I believe it's natural for us both to love where we come from and to want to see where we're at better. When we hurt, we know it's genuine. We've had conversations where our eyes have welled up and we're talking about situations and how do we help? That is the question. The question is we can't keep talking about the problem. Okay, that's the problem. How do we help? What's next step? And I just want to thank you for your continued leadership in that right.
Well, I want you to know this, man.
You said I had the last word, sir.
You did. But I want you to know I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you as a member of this team. I appreciate you as a resident in this community. I see your works. I see what you do outside. To me, you're definitely an all-star kind of guy. I only have one complaint, right?
Here we go.
And it's really not a complaint. I just want you to know for the record, between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, they have 2 episodes, 30-minute episodes of Gunsmoke. And I just really wish that between those hours I'm allowed to have lunch, I'm allowed to read, I'm allowed to exhale, and then more important, I'm allowed to watch a TV program, right? I just like the little relaxation. So when you're putting your programs together, sir, can you just say, hey, I'm not going to bother him doing that. But other than that, I love what you're doing.
So you know what I'm going to say to that? The sheriff answers to 2 things. He answers to the people and to God. When the people want me to schedule it between 1 and 2 o'clock, that's what's going to happen, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I respect that. I respect that. But on a serious note,
Yes, sir.
Keep doing what you're doing in the community because the community needs you. We need the community.
Gotcha.
We talk about this all the time. We must maintain our presence in the community.
Have to.
We must maintain our presence in this county because at the end of the day, no one man is greater than the community.
Amen.
And we serve the community.
Agreed.
As always, my brother, I love you. I love what you do.
Love you too, sir.
I love this city, this county. I love this country. May God continue to smile upon us and keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Once again, thank you.